Hello, welcome to the pod. I am taking my friend Conrad's advice and just being super myself on the podcast. And that means that right now I am having a little spliffy. I mean, Conrad didn't tell me to get high and do the podcast, but what I mean is I was going to do this and then record. And I was like, you know what? I just want to bring myself into this as much as I can. So it's medicinal marijuana and I've got nowhere to be for the rest of the day. And I've had the most amazing morning so far. Oh my God. I got on my bike and oh my God. Okay, wait, I'll start at the start. I had my mushroom and turmeric tea and a coffee and spent the morning reading my book, and that was really beautiful at home. And then I got on my bike and I rode to the beach, and I took my shopping bags with me, my canvas bags, because I was going to go to the markets after that. So I had a really nice swim at the beach and then rode my bike to the markets, went to the markets, and I got this really cool necklace. It's got Larimar in it, and the chick said that Larimar is good for helping with your throat chakra, but it helps you with your throat chakra by helping you first with your ability to understand yourself, because when you can understand yourself, you can really speak your truth, which is essentially what having a clear throat chakra is all about, or a well-balanced one. So anyway, who knows if any of that's real or true, but I bought it because absolutely I want that in my life. And then came home and did some cleaning. Oh no, then I had a shower and rubbed, because I bought this beautiful body oil. I also bought fruit and veg, which is what I originally went for. But I got one of those jade face rollers and those little massage things. I can't remember what it's called, gua sha or something. And I got some body oil. So I lathered myself up and got all shiny and gave myself a massage on my face, and I am so in love with myself today. It's not even funny. So yeah, cleaned the house as well. Oh my God, I can't even deal with today. And it's stunning, stunning blue sky. The water is clear. Everyone's happy today too. Everywhere I went, everyone was so nice. No one was mean. No one was grumpy. The vibe was immaculate today. Anyway, and it's only what time is it right now? It's 2:30 p.m. So there's still so much day to go. But I was I just want to have a really slow one. I'm probably going to do some painting after this maybe. So I just wanted to light an incense, have a little bit of my medicinal marijuana, record a potty. I just love doing this. I love recording the potty so much. So this was a fun self-care part of my day. And I was talking to one of my girlfriends that I did Reiki on. I was like, hey, can I share your Reiki story? So we're not going to do that today because I need to talk to her more about it first, but it's coming in another episode. So chill out. But because she had this amazing experience, I can't even deal. The story of her Reiki session that I did is phenomenal. The story of when it was happening, in real time, and also the after effects. I can't wait to share this with you because I'm so happy for her. Wow, it's insane. It makes me so happy. So anyway, I was like, hey, can I share your Reiki story? I can keep it anonymous. And she was like, yeah, that's totally fine. And then she was like, but we need to talk because there's actually more I need to update you on. I was like, oh my God. So that's literally the only reason I'm not talking about it right now is because she has more to tell me. So yeah, I'll share that with you whenever we have that chat. Okay, so today's episode is about, there's the whole thing I was talking about in the other episodes, if you listened to those, where I've asked my friends to ask me a question, something that they want my advice on or my thoughts on or whatever that I can share on the podcast that other people might also benefit from by hearing it. So this is another one of my girlfriends. I'll keep it anonymous. I'm going to read out her question because I love it. I love it so much because it's so relatable. And hang on, here it is. I'm just getting my pen and paper. Also, I'm obsessed with how I feel right now. I want to do every podcast on some weed. I won't because it depends on where I am and what I'm doing at the time. But this is such a vibe, guys. Because whenever I have whether it's my flower or the CBD THC oil, whichever one, they're both like, I just have never had a bad experience on it. It feels so good, and I don't get anxiety on it. And I just feel grounded, but also it opens up my channels so much, and I see from a totally different perspective. It's like I get even more wise when I'm high. It's incredible. Yeah. Because like when I was younger, I always thought that when you get stoned, you just become like a real dumb version of yourself. But no, I think maybe that occurs if you're high and you're trying to be out in society maybe, and you can't function at the rate that society's functioning at, because I think that takes a certain level of like disassociation to get through a normal societal day. But when you have had a bit of weed, you're kind of way more in your body and aware of everything. All of your senses have heightened. You are observing more internally about yourself and the world. And it's like it's almost like you open up a door and your higher self steps in or something. And it's just like, fuck yeah, I'm going to put some of this information I have into your body right now. And then anyway, if you've been high in your life and you feel like that, let me know, because I just said all that out loud as if you all relate. And I hope that you do. But now I'm like, do they? Does everyone else feel this way? Oh, this is so funny. Okay. So the question, this is so fun. I can't deal. All right. It's about being in her 20s. I think she's 20. I think she just turned 26. So if you hear this and you've actually turned like 25, I'm so sorry, but I'm pretty sure you've just turned 26. All right. So my 20s get more confusing as I go. There comes a fork in the road. Do I go to uni? No uni? What the fuck do I do? What am I supposed to be doing? What is everyone else doing? Why do I care what anyone else is doing? Who am I? Why do I have imposter syndrome about all of this? And then she went on to say, whether you're in your 20s or 70s, nothing matters and everything matters. Let's all sit down and be honest about what we're actually doing. I was like, fuck yes. I love it. I love this question so much. I've got fucking chills, motherfucker. All right. I'm going to leave that open next to me because I'll no doubt forget what I'm talking about halfway through at some point. Because if you're new here, I have ADHD and I just forget what I'm saying mid-sentence sometimes. Okay, so 20s get more confusing as I go. There comes a fork in the road. Do I go to uni? No uni? What the fuck am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? What is everyone else doing? Why do I care what anyone else is doing? Who am I? Why do I have imposter syndrome about all of this? So, first of all, you are not alone. This is such a common feeling. I remember feeling this like it was yesterday. And I never want to feel this ever again. I'm sure I will at some point in life about something. But oh my gosh. So first of all, I think that feeling starts to go away, or it begins its journey of going away, maybe more in your 30s. Because I think from what I recall of my 20s, the entire time, my main focuses were trying to find the love of my life for some reason. What the fuck was that about? I was still a child. I didn't know what was going on. Why was I trying to find what? And then I was really focused on just trying to survive with money, like working. How can I get money? How can I get more money? How can I get more money? Just got to pay the bills. I wasn't even trying to buy a house or save at that point. I was just like, how do I pay this next week's rent? And then what else was I really focused on in my 20s? Obviously raising Noah and trying different hobbies, which was good. And if you don't try a bunch of different hobbies, I do implore you to do that. I think that hobbies have been just one of the best parts of my entire life, apart from like friends and family and beautiful connections with people. Finding enjoyment in learning a brand new thing it's just, there's nothing else like it. You have to overcome your own bullshit. You have to go through this process of like, this is difficult and I wish I already knew how to do it perfectly, but you're obsessed enough to keep pushing through the difficulty. So it's like just outside your comfort zone. I'm describing flow state, by the way. And yeah, like that period of time where you feel like an absolute dumbass, but also you're so obsessed with the thing and you just pursue it and pursue it and pursue it because you just love it. You love to learn it. You're so interested in it. You really want to know the next part, and you can figure out which questions you need to be asking whoever or the internet or whatever to figure out the thing, or even yourself. So much growth happens when you take on a new hobby, and you don't have to do one hobby at a time. You can do a bunch at once, or you can do one that lasts you like a few years, like whatever. But hobbies. So I'm glad I always had that. I was into surfing. I did a little bit of paddleboarding, skateboarding, like longboarding, and also trying to skate in a bowl and stuff. And what else? I was doing like art on surfboards. I tried like resin painting for like 5 minutes, fucking hated it. Tried it literally once and I was like, I don't ever want to do that again. I don't know, just heaps of different stuff. There's probably more I'm forgetting now, but like photography as well. I was teaching myself photography like that entire time. And what was I talking about? The things I liked about my 20s, or like just my main focuses in my 20s. So none of the thing, and also just what I looked like. I was so obsessed with how I looked. I just thought I was hideous all the time. And then every now and then I'd be like, no, I'm really hot. I'm really feeling myself. But then for the most part, just thought that what the fuck can I do to look like anyone but me? Like what makeup should I wear? What fucking, I don't know. I just was constantly trying to avoid looking like myself. And I really regret that. That's stupid. But I also now, I guess having done it for so long, got to the point where I've gone in the complete opposite direction and pretty much enjoy myself in all my forms now. And I'm glad. And I think I probably had to experience the complete opposite to get to this point. So I'm still grateful for that. But anyway, the point of that is that like throughout most of those like main focuses I had of my 20s, I just remember feeling like I didn't know who I was, what I wanted, what I was supposed to be doing, all of that. And I think I was just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what stuck. And I'm glad that I did that. I never had the opportunity to go into university in that classic sense of, you live at home with your parents and, they help you through high school, make sure you do your homework and everything. And then like talk to you about uni and kind of prepare you for that so you know what to do and who to talk to and what kind of whatever. I don't know. I've never been. And, they help you out with that. And then you go to uni and maybe you move out by that point. Maybe you don't, whatever. Like just none of that for me. Like had absolutely none of it. So I was in a situation where it was more like, I just have to survive first and foremost. But I was always this person that just had like this like pull towards doing something fun. If something did not feel like I wanted to do it, I found it very difficult to do. I was good at finding enjoyable parts inside different jobs or whatever to teach me something. Because I was like, all right, I'm going to like every opportunity I do is going to level me up for the next thing. What is it that I want to do next? And I'm like, okay, I want to eventually have my own business or whatever, or like I want to do something creative for my job or whatever. And then I would look for something in the job that I already had that would kind of be like, okay, this would be one of the aspects required in that next job. And then I went and just happily did the job and learned as much as I could because I was like, there's a purpose behind me learning as much as I can from this job, even if it's just being a waitress or working in my parents' print factory or being a retail salesperson, working in a photography studio, working in a marketing studio. I've freelanced, I've had a business, I've had jobs, and all of it has taught me so fucking much. So I don't know, like if you're out of high school and maybe you're like, I did a bit of uni, did a bit of study. Maybe you dropped out, maybe you stayed in it. Maybe you haven't done it yet because you're like, well, you weren't sure what you wanted to do. So you thought you'd just hold off and you've got this pressure of like, is it getting a bit too late in life? Like, should I go to uni now? Like, should I have some more studies behind me? Blah, blah, blah. What I would say to that is give a fuck about what you think anyone is expecting of you. Give a fuck about doing exactly what anyone else does. in society, regarding, you know, going to uni or not, or when that should happen. Do whatever you want to do. It sounds so simple. I know. I'll try and make it more inspiring, but that's actually the crux of this whole situation. When you're in your 20s, you feel like this pressure to like, you know, not fuck it up, not to fuck up life. And I think that we feel that pressure just because, like, you know, we were recently so young. And when you're young, you look at adults and you're like, wow, how do you do all that? Like, what are you doing all day? Like, okay, cool. And you're looking at their life and you're like, sweet, I guess that's what life looks like. And I'm going to grow up and do that one day. I'm going to get a job, go to uni, whatever. Get married, have kids, die, fucking boring. Sorry. No, that's not boring for everyone. I would be bored, but that's just my perspective. And that doesn't mean that's the same for everybody else. Anyway, I nearly forgot what I was talking about. 20s. Oh, dearie me. What was I talking about, guys? Oh, it fell out of my head. Fuck. Hang on, I'm just thinking. Bear with me. So it does not matter what anyone thinks about where you're supposed to be, even though it feels very much like it does, because you were only recently looking at your parents and how they live their lives and everything, and living a life on your own terms wasn't really taught to you, because like your parents are usually just modeling to you how they live without, I think people forget to tell their kids like to understand that they can have a different life to their parents. I guess that's not always the prerogative of everyone, though, when they're raising their kids. So, but in my eyes, I think it's pretty important to let your kids know, like raise them knowing that they can grow up and be whatever version of a human being that they want to be in whatever way, because I think that's really important, because we are very, very creative beings naturally. And we stifle our creativity and our imagination from such a young age because it doesn't fit into, you know, normal society to live with, you know, constantly using your imagination and being a creative person. Like, those aren't the everyday pursuits. But those things, like having an amazing imagination and giving yourself the time and, you know, courage as well to just create, because I think it takes a lot, because when you're creating from what's inside you, it's a very vulnerable thing to do. But as we know, like, vulnerability, you know, it helps foster connection with people. And if we're connected and we have compassion for one another and we can see each other's vulnerabilities and hold space for that, like, we'll be at the point where we can just absolutely raise our vibration as a species. And like, that's the goal, right? So more creating. Because to be creative is to be vulnerable and you're speaking to someone from your soul. So yeah, I think we should tell kids that they can grow up and they can do something creative if they want, and stop stifling their imaginations and just let them know that they can be whoever they want to be, because that all leads to people having, you know, spiritual awakenings and aligning on their paths that they're supposed to be on. So I get why it feels like you're like, oh, I need to do what everyone else is doing and how they're doing it, but I also don't want to, and you're pulling back and forth between that. But it's like, it doesn't matter what everyone else is doing, because your journey is your own and it's very unique to you. Your path will have many different options and opportunities, and it's up to you what you take. And each one that you take will lead into another series of events that you'll learn from and you'll grow from. And as long as you follow what piques your interest, what you think that you would enjoy doing, what feels good, give yourself the permission to dare to actually look up some of the things, like some of the dreams that you have of like, oh, I really want to do this one day, or it'd be so cool. Like, Google it, just Google it. That's it. I'm just asking you to Google the thing. Whatever it is that you want to do with your life one day, just start Googling it or look it up on Pinterest, whatever it is that you want to do. But like, taking it from your head into an action is so important, because most people will stifle that dream that they want to, you know, pursue just before they even look it up. They'll be like, nah, too hard, can't do it right now. But if you forever are just like, nah, too hard, can't do it right now, you'll actually never grow out of this, like, you know, cycle you're in, or like, you know, dead end situation that you feel kind of stuck in or whatever. You need to actually take an action to tell your body and the universe and your subconscious and everything to wake up. Something more interesting is happening that, pay attention, that kind of thing. And you'll find that things just start to sort of excite you about it maybe. And like something kind of lights up in your body and then you feel it. You're like, ooh, I want to pursue that. And then you like look up like, how do I learn this thing? And you're like, this is something I could teach myself. Should I get a class somewhere? Do I need to go to uni for it? Like, what do I want to do? How do I make this happen? And like whether or not that ends up happening in your life, like if you just go on a fun adventure of figuring out how to get there, if you have to study something or move somewhere or, why not? Do you know what I mean? Why not? You can have, like life is so long. It's short, but it's long. You know what I mean? Like we've got probably like, they say like the average of like 84 years of life, and that's not a lot. It's really not a lot. So don't waste it being unconscious about your life and just getting by. If you can change it in some way, if you have the ability to do that in some way, some teeny weeny little way, everything inside you will wake up and want to change more. And you'll change things, one after the other, maybe in your own pace, in your own time. Maybe you change things really quickly. It doesn't matter. You will actually start to see change in your life. Just give yourself the permission to be curious about your hopes and dreams. And if you're someone who's a bit more brave like me, who will just jump into something without having a backup, without really having a plan, like the type of person to just run off a cliff and then just grow your wings and fly before you hit the bottom. And then you just take off and soar. That's what I do. And if you do that too, oh my God, shout out. Love that so much. It's such an energy and I'm so here for it. So if you're the sort of person that would like, jump off and just do something before you're prepared or before you're ready, that's amazing. And you probably don't really need a lot of pushing to get you into doing the things that you want to do in your life. So I would just like to say to you that, like, don't worry about it all being perfect. Okay. So start whatever it is you want to start, follow whatever dream it is that you want to follow, learn whatever it is that you want to learn. But I want you to take on some of that like white guy confidence earlier in life. Like, don't wait until you're so perfect at the thing, until you're an absolute master before you're like, okay, cool, I've made it. Now I can achieve all my goals. Like, no. You are going to be good at it so much earlier than you think you are, just because of your expectations on yourself and everything. And I just want you to go like, okay, am I like, in your own eyes, you'll probably be fucking immaculate at the thing to other people, but in your own eyes, you'll probably be like, all right, I'm pretty good, like average-ish to good. When you're at like that point in your learning journey or whatever, I want you to just embody that white guy confidence. Just remember this. I hope this podcast like triggers in your head at that time. And then you go, fuck yeah. Would a white guy like not just parade this to the world now? Like, would he shy away from this at all? Or would he, tell everyone that he knows it's the most perfect, amazing thing that ever happened and that they can't, cannot disagree or whatever? I don't fucking know. I'm not saying all white guys say that, but that's the kind of confidence level I want you to tackle all of your life goals, hobbies, like passions, your work, your learning, whatever it is that you like and enjoy doing. Hit it with some white guy confidence, okay? Because you're probably so much fucking better at it than you think. And you can teach it to other people. You don't have to be a master before you can teach it to other people. You can turn around to someone who's like 5 or 10% behind you and teach it to them. We've talked about this. You're better at the thing than you think. All right. So anyways, that's probably what I think about the whole, like, when, in what timing you should do things, what it is that you want to do, like all of that. If you're in, your 20s and you're wondering what the world expects of you and you don't know how to answer it, don't answer it. Tell the world to fucking call back later and you're figuring it out. That's chill. Like, the longer you put off figuring out who you are and what you actually want to do, the longer it takes you to just do that thing. Like, it never goes away. It will come at you in life at one point or another until you accept it, this like lesson in who you are and what you want. And I think different opportunities throughout life pop up where that can happen, and we go, oh, sweet, I'm going to learn a bit more about myself right now. And you go through a bit of a growth period, or you feel a growth period knocking, but you're too busy and you don't stop. So you just keep going past it, and then it keeps knocking, and it knocks and knocks and louder. And next thing you know, the universe pulls the fucking rug out from under you because you didn't fucking listen. And then you learn from that, and you're like, wow, okay, next time I know I'm being taught a lesson by the universe, I'm going to listen earlier. And sometimes that lesson is just a journey in finding out who the fuck you are. And that really starts with figuring out what it is about the world that you don't enjoy, because a lot of what we do is so unconscious and it's just so ingrained in us. So it's like, what about the things you already do in your life that you just actually find discomfort in and you don't enjoy doing, or your body doesn't like it, or you just wish you could do anything else? Like, try and address those areas. What can you change? And be brave, okay? Be fucking brave. You have one opportunity in this life to make it the most amazing thing that you could ever experience. Do you know what I mean? It's completely within your control to change your situation. I know my head just went to a place where it was like, I just had all these visuals pop into my head of like people who, I'm so sorry, but like people who've been like kidnapped and put in dungeons, and people who are like, in camps, and like just people who are absolutely pushed down by the system as low as it can possibly go. You know what I mean? And then, so obviously when I'm speaking about things, I just want everyone to know that I always think about everyone all the time, but I know that I can't speak for everyone, and I can't speak for everyone in every situation all at once. Do you know what I mean? Because then how can we ever get to the depth of a topic or whatever, or really to the depth of who we are as people, if we keep trying to address everyone, everywhere, and everything all at once, just so that someone doesn't get upset or whatever. And it's like, have patience for each other. You know what I mean? Like, if someone's talking about something and you're like, oh, that's awfully like narrow-minded of them, they're not thinking about all of these other fucking, like, do you want them to sit there and talk in like for an hour in a monologue so they address on everything? No, you want them to be able to just talk about what they know and what they can teach you from within their experience. It doesn't mean they're not seeing all of the other angles of the world or whatever. But like, I'm just talking about myself right now. Oh, so funny. I'm just gonna eat a piece of mango. I'm so sorry that was like heaven going down my throat. Okay, so what else was that question? What the fuck do I do? What am I supposed to be doing? What is everyone else doing? Why do I care what everyone else is doing? Who am I? Why do I have imposter syndrome about all of this? So I think imposter syndrome is such a broad thing. There's a lot that is encompassed by imposter syndrome, but I think one of the things is that we spend our whole life trying to be a quote unquote human rather than just being who we are. So, to obviously, like, from a evolutionary kind of standpoint, back when we were just hunters and gatherers and everything, if we could be a part of the society or the tribe or the group or whatever, and function within it and have value, we would survive. We would be with the group and we would survive. We wouldn't be killed off. We wouldn't, die alone. We would be looked after, that kind of thing. So obviously it makes sense that we want, like, that's just still something in us. But it's good to be more conscious of it, because if you're able to watch that, you can kind of give yourself the room to be like, this situation, I don't need to be a part of the world in, a part of a specific group or whatever. Like, I don't know, like if you're like, oh, I just really want to be like more creative or whatever, but everyone I know isn't. And they're also like, they think creatives are like kind of flaky, weird people, and they're really like put together and really like, I don't know, Me trying to describe fancy people. I don't fucking know. Anyway. Damn it, what was I saying? Fuck. This is so annoying. I didn't take my meds today. This is not actually, like, this happens when I'm high or sober. But it's not because I'm high, it's because I didn't take my meds. Because this is like excessive. All right, hang on a second. What was I just talking about? Anyway, imposter syndrome. We think that we're supposed to be in, groups all the time of people to survive and to be accepted. You want to be accepted by everyone, to feel like you belong, that kind of thing. And we don't need to do that in every single scenario in life. And we don't need to hang on to it so tightly as well, because it's like, you'll find, your people wherever you go. Like, you will. Even if it's only like, even if you're, super introverted and don't like being around people and you only have like 2 friends and you suddenly had to move to the other side of the country and you wouldn't get to see those 2 friends very much anymore, like, you would eventually, one way or another, find your people again. And it happens sooner the more open you are, and obviously the more you approach world instead of waiting for the world to approach you, kind of thing. But you'd find your people. And what I'm getting at is, like, you don't need to you don't need to hold yourself back from existing exactly as you want to exist in whatever areas of life, because if you're hanging on to how a friend group sees you or how your town sees you or whatever so tightly, like, how they perceive you is way more valuable to you than how you perceive yourself and who you actually are. And if you let go of that and you're like, I'm just going to exist with these people without any ties to them, and if they stay around me and I stay around them while not hanging on to it, like, I don't want to approach being in this group of people hoping that they will keep me alive, that kind of thing. I just want to be around them because I like being around them and I want to learn from them and I'm interested by them and they're kind to me and they seem to be interested by me and that kind of thing. You'll find people who are way more aligned, with who you are by doing that. You'll be able to walk away when a group is not right for you and you can feel it by having that kind of perspective. And you will be braver and more confident to exist in yourself in a way that you love and respect yourself more than you expect that from anybody else. You want to know yourself so well that what someone else says to you literally doesn't fuck you up. Like, you actually have the ability to go, I'm going to take that on board and learn from it, or that's not for me. I can see why this person's saying that, and I can suddenly now get a view of who they are as a human being, and you're watching it from this, like, really objective perspective where you're not emotionally attached to the thing initially. Like, you can allow, if that thing brings up emotions, you can allow that to happen. You can allow that to come into your body because you want to process it. Like, you want that, you know what I mean? Anyway, I just think that's such a cool way to be. But we don't, because largely we haven't really been, again, taught to just be who we are. We haven't really been told it's okay to be who we are. We've been told to fit in, try not to make a fuss, try not to stand out, try not to, fucking, I can't believe that's how the world ended up going. Like, I don't, anyway, it's just, we're living almost opposite to how we're actually meant to. Anyway, so when we start to kind of go out in the world and, you're in your 20s and you're a part of more things and you're actively, like, in the driver's seat of your life, deciding what you want to do with it, that kind of thing, it's easy to think that there's something wrong with you, or that you're not doing enough, or that you're not going to be good at anything, or that you're just going to suck at it all and everyone else is doing it well and you're not. And you know, they're all over there doing that thing, like, but I'm not, should I be, that kind of thing, like that comparison. And it's like, that's all just, that imposter syndrome, I think, is there because we haven't given ourselves the space and time to shine and be who we are and express who we are. And yeah, it's just a lack in knowing how to exist freely within yourself and within a society and within other people. That's what imposter syndrome is. So, well, that's one of the parts. What else did she say? I think this is almost it. Yeah, she said, like, let's all sit down and be honest about what we're doing. And, like, I think that's no one, we're all just like, yes, I am happy, no bad vibes. Yes, I enjoy my job. Yes. You know what I mean? It's like this fucking robotic sort of vibe going along at the moment with, I guess, the general masses of people. It all just feels like everyone's a copy and paste of each other. And I just feel like a lot of that comes down to living super unconsciously at the moment. And we all put out online and everything what we're doing, and it's always like, you know, slightly left of center sometimes for some people, but usually the same kind of thing. Like people are just doing the same thing, going to the same places, like thinking the same thoughts. You know what I mean? And it would be nice if people were more honest, if people were more realistic, if people were more like, yeah, like, oh, I failed at all of these things, and then, but I'm not upset about that because it taught me all this stuff. Or if more people were like, oh yeah, I'm like trying this new hobby and I still suck at it, but do you want to see? Like, or maybe don't even say I still suck at it. Just be like, look at where I'm at. Oh my God, that's even better. Look at where I'm at with this. Because then it's like, whatever fucking part of the journey, whether it's a start, middle, or you're a master at it, like just look at where you're at and be proud of it. Get other people to look at it because it's inspiring. You can lead by example, living in a way that's authentic to yourself. Which is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do that so hardcore, it's not even funny. Anyway, this feels about done. Hopefully that was helpful. I love doing this. I love doing the potty so much. It's my fucking favorite thing in the entire world right now, apart from painting. I love painting. Oh my God, so much. If you're watching the video version, these are my paintings I did both of these like in the space of like a week from each other, I think. And I love them so much for different reasons. They're fucking psycho. Like, anyway, sorry if you're not watching the video and you can't see that. So go to my website if you want. There's lots of different stuff there. I've got resources on marketing in my blog, and I'm doing intuitive marketing just via Zoom. So cool. It can help you out with your intuitive healing business if you have one. And what else? On TikTok, I am Salty Film, and my name is Esther. I don't know if I said that. So yeah. All right. Cheerio. Love you.